Shaw from Monopolize Your Marketplace, and I want to thank you for joining us for today's webinar, Guerrilla Marketing, Making Big Waves with Small Budgets and Smart Ideas. The interest in this particular webinar has been through the roof, so I think we've hit a little bit of a nerve here. People interested in doing some unusual things, some things a little bit outside of the box, and we are going to fulfill on that for you today big time. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to do a quick test to make sure that all of our systems are working properly here. Okay, we should have an advanced slide. Judy, if you can give me a heads up that we're all systems go, we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, fantastic. All right, the first thing I want to do is let you know about our sponsors. Without our sponsors, there is no webinar today. So thank you to the 6 sponsors that you see on your screen. We'll be hearing from a few of them here in just a moment, and then we'll be hearing from a couple of them later on during the middle part of the webinar. They are going to have a short commercial for their company, and I think everyone understands and can appreciate that these are the lifeline for this program. So I'd like you to do me a favor after the webinar, if you feel like you enjoyed the webinar and got good value out of it, I'd like you to drop a note to the sponsor that invited you to this webinar to let them know that you appreciate their contribution, their support, their sponsorship for this kind of a webinar. So we've got Gutter Covers International on with us today, Bath Wraps by Liner Direct, Market Sharp, Window Depot USA, Qualified Remodeler, and First General. And I'd like to throw a particular shout out to Market Sharp and Tim Mush, who we'll hear from later, and Qualified Remodeler. They are 2 anchor sponsors that do a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of promoting and getting this webinar put together. So thank you to them. We'll hear from those here shortly. What we're going to do today on the webinar, if you'll stick with us throughout the webinar, we're going to give away a couple of books. In fact, we're going to give away 3 books. Monopolize Your Marketplace, Separate Your Business from the Competition, then Eliminate Them. We'll be giving away 2 in the middle part of the webinar, and then another 1 book at the end of the webinar. Plus, we'll be giving away a 4th free gift, which is our Remodeling Contractor Marketing Bootcamp audio CD program. So stick around. You must be present to win. We'll be giving away 1 book and the CD program at the very end of the presentation, so you'll want to stick around and find out who wins that. Okay, that being said, I want to go ahead and introduce a few of our sponsors. The first one, I will just make a quick mention, Qualified Remodeler Magazine. This is a company that we've been doing business with for a while. I write a monthly column for their magazine. Also, we will be beginning in April a new blog on the Qualified Remodeler website where I'll be contributing weekly articles on various marketing topics. So if you'd like to keep up with what Monopolize Your Marketplace is doing, as well as what the industry is doing, then this is a good website for you to go to. If you'd like to get in contact with these folks, go ahead and contact them via the information that is shown on your screen right now. Next, we've got Gutter Covers International, and I'd like to introduce Tony Michaels from Gutter Covers International. And Tony, let me get you unmuted here. Well, Tony, you're going to need to hit your audio pin to be unmuted, #174#. And if not, I will go ahead and give the presentation for Tony. Give him just a second here. Okay, well, we have a technical difficulty with Tony. I will go ahead and let you know what's going on with Gutter Covers International. They've been a sponsor of ours for about 3 months now, a company that I met last year in Ohio, and actually they have a company that sells and installs gutter covers in the Ohio area that is a customer of ours. They are what I call the Swiss Army knife of gutter cover companies. A lot of companies have a product and they tell you that it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and that's not necessarily true, but here's the interesting thing. Tony Iannelli, the founder of Gutter Covers International, has created 5 different gutter cover products to cover all different kinds of situations that you may be facing as a homeowner, including a nose forward product. They've got some filtered products, and they've got, like I said, 5 different ones. If you go to guttercoversinternational.com, you can see those. They've got good marketing support. They've got good technical support. This is an outstanding company. There is a ton of gutter cover companies out there. I've been around a lot of them for a lot of years, and this is, in my opinion, the premier company in the industry. So give them a buzz, and you'll have a chance to let us know if you'd like to know more from them a little bit later. Next, we've got Window Depot USA, and Window Depot USA is a network of window companies, meaning not of window companies, but they're a network that allows you to buy windows through their system, but not just get windows like you can with a lot of different kinds of places you buy windows from. They also have an unbelievable amount of marketing support. If you're interested in web marketing, which is something that I promote all the time, this is a company that has resources available to you free of charge for search engine optimization, pay-per-click, and other web marketing tools, as well as other traditional marketing tools. Window Depot USA, great prices on their windows, great support. Look them up, windowdepotusa.com/partner, and find out more about them. Finally, we're going to hear from First General, and then we'll get into the content of the webinar. First General is a property restoration specialist company. They are actually a franchise, and let me get on the line Michael Flatt. Here we go. Whoops. All right, Michael, you should be live with us. Are you there, Michael?
Yes, I am, Rick.
Hey, Michael, how you doing today? Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about First General, and we'll turn the time over to you for a moment.
Thanks, Rich. Good morning, everybody. My name's Michael Flatt, and I'm the CEO of First General North America, your property restoration franchise. How are all of you finding your marketplace today? Challenging, I would think. And what about your clients? Indecisive? Not sure about going ahead with those remodeling projects? And what about competition? I'm sure it's increasing everywhere. All of you are on this webinar today to learn about how to energize your business and to drive more to your door. How many of you have felt the need to diversify to create more opportunities for yourself? Well, you may qualify for our franchise if you have the right skill set. Property restoration is recession-proof. Insurance claims happen every day. And this business capitalizes on your existing remodeling skills with just a number of organizational changes. It can bring quality business to your door. Restoration of insurance claims must be done and is usually paid for by the insurance company, so your money is secure. Last year, our 80 offices in the United States and Canada completed $250 million of restoration. First General is well recognized and can offer access to this market if you're willing to learn new operational and marketing techniques. So if you're interested in learning more about us, please contact the number on your slide. And thanks very much for your attention, and enjoy the rest of the webinar.
All right, Michael, appreciate your time, and most importantly, appreciate your sponsorship and support of Monopolize Your Marketplace and making webinars like this and seminars like we have next month in Kansas City available. Okay, give me just 1 second, and we're going to hop right into the content here. Okay. Well, let's talk about this. What is guerrilla marketing? Just by way of definition, it's any attempt to get attention or get new customers using non-traditional methods. It's more about outthinking your competitors than outspending them, although there is money involved in some of these, as you will see. It's not like everything we're going to talk about is absolutely free, but we're talking about outthinking, okay? This isn't just for small companies, although I've seen a lot of larger, more well-established companies get rid of guerrilla marketing because it takes too much effort. Guerrilla marketing is sometimes something that can be used in the early stages of a business when you don't have as much money as you have time, but I do want to encourage you, even if you're a more established company with a larger budget, to look at some of these things and adopt some of the tactics as something that might be valuable for your company. I remember talking to a large metal roofing company years ago, and the CEO told me that the most effective thing that he had ever done from a marketing standpoint was driving around house to house looking for homes that had roofs that need to be replaced. and he had a little micro cassette recorder in his hand, and he would literally just make a note of the address. He'd say 517 Tyler Drive, 718 Marshall. And then he'd get back to his office, hand the recorder to a secretary who would type up all the addresses, and then they would mail them. And he said it worked like gangbusters. And I asked him, I said, well, why don't you do that anymore? And he said, you know what, I really don't know. We don't have time. It's just not something I do anymore. So some of these things just take some time and attention, trading effort and time for money, using brains, along with your checkbook, okay? I want to make this very clear. Some of the things we're going to talk about are not high-dollar things, but some of them do require some money. But the idea for Guerrilla is to do things a little bit different, a little bit unusual, okay? So let's take a quick poll, and I just want to get a feel for where you stand right now. So let me bring my polls up on the screen here, and I just want to ask you, do you engage in guerrilla marketing? Okay, the poll is open. If you will please fill out your choice. Do you do some interesting, unique things? Do you sometimes do some stuff, but you'd like to do more? Did you used to do it, but you've gotten away? Do you not really do anything, but you're interested? Or is it not really a good fit? I don't anticipate, and I'm seeing not a lot of people filling in the last one. You're on this webinar for a reason. Go ahead. I'm going to give you another, oh, well, geez, we've got a lot of already voted. Let me give you another 10 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Close the poll, and let me share the poll now. Here's what we found. Well, only 3% of you do quite a few interesting things, so there's some room for improvement. 37% say that you'd like to do more, and that's why you're here, and I appreciate that. 9% have gotten away from it. That's about 10%, and 50% really don't do anything but are interested. So, hey, sit back and relax and engage your brain, because this is going to be pretty interesting stuff here. So let's go ahead and get into the webinar. Let me tell you how to use this webinar. If you've been on webinars with me before, I usually start at the beginning. I put out a premise. I tell you how the concepts work. I show you some principles. I show you some examples, and then I tell you how you can make that work for you. That is not how this webinar works today. This webinar is like potpourri. We're going to just go through a lot of different concepts. There's no particular order, and you know what? It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to have to get outside your box. I'm going to encourage you to test things conservatively, then roll them out bigger. Here is what I am not telling you. I am not telling you, hey, here's all the stuff that under all conditions will always work for everybody or is a good fit for every company. I'm not telling you that. You're going to have to sort of pick and choose and decide what kinds of things you want to utilize, okay? Just do 1 or 2 things at a time. You don't have to roll out 17 things. Just 1 or 2, okay? If something doesn't work out, move on to something else. The key is to try something, though, and find a few things that work and will make a difference for you, okay? So as we kind of get started here, here's what I want you to think of. Do something unusual that people will notice because it's different. So let's start with guerrilla canvassing. I think we're going to cover about 17 different topics, if I'm not mistaken. So if you see something that comes up and you look at this and say, oh, geez, guerrilla canvassing, we don't really do any canvassing. That's okay. Just stay with me here. We're going to get to a lot of different things. So let's look at the timeshare method first of all. Compensating people for their time to listen to your sales pitch. You ever been to Cabo San Lucas? Go there sometime if you want to find out about a strong timeshare pitch. They will mug you at the airport, and they'll give you everything free on the planet to listen to their sales pitch. Think about the money that you would spend on advertising and then give it away instead. Now, the great thing about this is you start giving the money to people who are in front of you instead of people that are just sort of vaguely out there in the advertising world. So especially maybe newer, this is something that you might want to think of. If you go out there and say, hey, I will pay you something for listening to my sales pitch, think about what is needed related to yourself. If you do if you're a gutter company, maybe think about doing free gutter cleaning. I know that one of our new MYM Insider members, who actually was a previous member also, Bill Pimp, they've done this successfully in the past. They go around and they say, hey, we're doing a neighborhood cleanup. We'd like to clean your gutters for free. What they're looking for is an audience to be able to talk to people. It also invokes reciprocity. It works extraordinarily well. free window cleaning. Maybe you could do handyman jobs. And what if you did it on the spot? Imagine if you were a company that did remodeling and you also had some handyman ability, knocking on the door and saying, hey, we're here to do an hour of free handyman. What do you need us to do? Here's our credentials so you can trust us. Here's some proof that we're who we say we are so you're not creepy. You know, maybe there's a nice-looking van sitting out there so they can get comfortable with you. And do something right there for them on the spot. Get the reciprocity. See if there's more jobs that need to be done. Let them see what you can do. Clean their windows if you're a window company, something to just get in the door, okay? Now, King Kong. When you see King Kong on the screen, here's what that means. It's not just gorilla, it's a big, fat, honking gorilla. How about just straight up cash? Now, this is something you don't want to roll out huge right away. But what if you knocked on somebody's door, you pulled out a $100 bill, and you said, I'll give you $100 right now if you listen to a 20-minute sales presentation on new windows or on gutter covers or on whatever it is. And here's what you do. You just run your numbers, okay? You say, well, that's crazy. First of all, you might not trust somebody to not just take all the money. I'm talking about your person knocking doors and just running off with it. So you got to get somebody you can trust, obviously. But if you knock on that door and you said, look, I'm going to pay you, maybe try 50, try 20, try 5, here's something that might be interesting. Get a bunch of $1 bills and take 100 ones, you know, in one of those little things that they wrap them up with, and say, I got $100. I'll pay you if you listen to my sales presentation for 20 minutes. And now here's what you do. You look at it and you say, all right, we sell windows. Normally when we sell windows, it's about $300 for a lead, and we close about 30% of the leads we talk to, so it's about $1,000 for a closed deal. So if we went out and offered $50 or $100, let's say it's $50, and that got people's attention, that got us in that door, you know what I hear over and over and over and over and over again from companies that are successful? I hear this. When we were small, when we were just starting out, when we had not much money, when we were trying to get our first deals, we knocked on doors. I'm not talking about rolling a van full of guys out there. I'm talking about in a small, controlled way, okay? Run your numbers. If you give $100 and you have 10 appointments and you get one sale, guess what? It's worth it. If you do $50 and you get 20 appointments and you get one sale, guess what? It's worth it. Try it. See what happens. Here's what you'll find. Small bills wrapped in I don't know what you even call that thing that you wrap them in. It's funner. It's more interesting. People look at it and go, wow, it looks like a lot of money. It's the same $100 as if you pulled out a $100 bill, but it just looks more interesting and more fun. Do this. Go to a kid on his birthday and offer him a $50 bill or $51 bills and see which one he takes. And don't think that your customers are so much different than that 8-year-old kid, okay? Guerrilla canvassing number 2 is what I call micro canvassing. Normal canvassing is you take a van full of guys, you got to hire them, you got to manage them, you got to make sure that they're not, you know, sitting behind the dumpsters, you know, smoking or something. It's hard. Micro canvassing is different. Here's what you do. In conjunction with a proximity marketing campaign, a new mover marketing campaign, situational, meaning you find certain types of neighborhoods that have a need for what you're selling, mail them a few times, and then send in the micro canvasser with a clipboard. Now, here's what I'm talking about: a single individual, not non-married, but just a one person with a clipboard with the names of the customers, or excuse me, the prospects that you've already been mailing to, and have them go through a very specific script. And I like to use this big bill approach. Now, this big bill is the mother of all guerrilla marketing. You will make money using this big bill. Here's what it is. I'll show it to you in just a second. It's a 17-inch by 7.3-inch bill that we can help you create that's oversized, and it looks really, really cool. Now, you can make it in any denomination you want. You can make it in $100, $1,000, $169, $0, $10,000, whatever denomination you want. But here's what it becomes. It's an icebreaker when the person opens the door. Instead of sitting there thinking, how can I get this person off of my porch, they look at this big, huge bill, and they think, wow, that's pretty cool. If they're not home, leave it on the door. Now, I'm going to talk about this in a minute. The King Kong micro canvassing, pretty old door knockers. Now, here's what this means. It's actually two different things. Now, I'm mixing up a few things here, so you might have to, pull these back apart. The first one is the big bill, and I'm going to show you the big bill, a picture of it here in just a second. Well, I'll just show it to you right now. Here's how big it is on the door. That's my front door right there. I put one on there. A little bit more close up. It's a $1,000 bill. When somebody answers the door, you hand it to them and you say, I'd like to give you $1,000. Now, this is in lieu of, we talked earlier about giving them actual cash. This is a different thing. This is taking this big bill and saying, I'd like to give you $1,000. Now, on the back of that is information about your company. Now, if you've been on my webinars before, you know that I'm extraordinarily picky about this thing called identity and what we see on the back of these. So here's the front, again, the $1,000 bill or the $500 bill or the $100 bill, whatever dollar you want on there. And then on the back, we've got information about your company. Persnickety, demanding, hard to please, then I'm the remodeler for you. Looking for great windows without all the sales pressure, then call the window nerd. I'm not going to go through this in particular. This is extraordinarily important to this working properly, but this isn't what I want to go over with you right now. You can put a $1,000 bill, a $0 bill. If you go back and look at this window nerd, you see that he offers $0 off. And the reason is because he doesn't do promotions. It's part of his identity, how he operates his business. Okay, now let me talk about pretty old door knockers. This is an interesting concept I got a few years ago from a financial services guy, and he was dealing with older prospects, and a lot of his prospects were widows. And I gave him this idea. I said, why don't you hire some old men that have nothing to do? They're retired, maybe their wife is deceased, or maybe they're just looking for something to do instead of greeting at Walmart. Why don't you send them around knocking on the doors of these widows? And he said, I like it. Now, this goes back to the concept. I mean, I'm just telling you stuff. You choose what you want to do with it. If you look at the popularity of the restaurant Hooters, we don't need to go into detail about what makes that work, but here's what I'm trying to say. If we can match up demographics and we can put an older person, especially if you deal in something where you've got an older demographic, or maybe you could generate a list of older prospects in certain neighborhoods. You know what? This data is readily available. You can buy this data. It's easy and it's inexpensive to get, and you have an older person knocking. This is called guerrilla marketing. Or maybe you go the route, not trying to be crazy here, but what if you hired attractive young women, or men as the case may be, to go out and knock these doors? It's unusual. It gets people to pay attention, okay? Now, here's a quick hit for guerrilla marketers, home shows. We like to use the big bill approach with a sweepstakes in conjunction. Let me tell you something. This works extremely well every time, okay? Well, this might work. No. This doesn't might work sometimes. This works extremely well all the time. Sweepstakes and a big bill. So here's what we do. We put together a $20,000 home remodeling giveaway. This is a banner that you're seeing here on the right-hand side of your screen. Now, it doesn't have to be $20,000. It could be $10,000. It could be $5,000. It could be any number that seems reasonably big enough to be desirable by the target market. So what you do is you use the big bill in conjunction with the giveaway. The reason is because the big bill, if you remember from earlier, is what? It's an icebreaker. If it breaks the ice when somebody's canvassing at the door, guess what it's also going to do? Break the ice when somebody's walking. You know that uncomfortable saunter that people have at the home shows, or they're kind of glancing sideways at the booth because they don't want to make eye contact, because they don't want to be accosted and tried to sell something? Well, what if you took the big bill and you were walking the aisle right in front of your booth and you said, I'd like to give you $20,000. They go, wow, this is cool, huh? Great icebreaker. Then we put together a sheet that we can gather interest of what the person might want, whether it's windows or siding or kitchen or bathroom, whatever it is that you happen to sell. And then on the back end, we call with the first prize script. So instead of just gathering information and setting appointments, we do that obviously, but we also take all of the leads that we got that did not set appointments on the spot. We call them and we say, hey, you know the $20,000 home improvement giveaway that you signed up for at the home show last week? Yes, I do. Well, I'm calling to let you know that we haven't given it away quite yet. We're going to do that on July 4th. However, we do give away monthly first prize gifts, and I'm calling to let you know that you've won. And they go, really? Yeah. Now, you didn't win $20,000, but what you did win is $2,000 gift card. I'd like to send that over to you. I've got your address here. It's 1231 Whispering Oaks. Is that still correct? And they say, well, yeah, that is correct. Now, the gift card that you're sending is for your own company, and I'm going to talk about using gift cards in more detail later on in this webinar. But here's what happens. They hear that, and they think, wow, I won, and it's a great way to follow up on the back end. I don't have time to go through the entire strategy in detail. Let me tell you this. It works. $20,000 bill, whatever, okay? Let's go to guerrilla marketing. Making a scene, number one, make a video. Now, here's the great thing about making a video. It's easy to do, okay? Cool stuff like blend tech. If you ever go to YouTube and search the term blend tech, you see it at the bottom of your screen here. And this is a guy that blends iPads, he blends iPhones, he blends tiki torches. He's blended about 120 different things. It's hilarious, and there's like 3 to 10 million viewers per video because it's so interesting. Well, what if you took a flamethrower or an air cannon? Do you know that you can purchase? You've ever been to a sporting event and seen those air cannons that they shoot hot dogs and T-shirts into the crowd? Did you know that you can buy those for as little as $600 or $700, and you could buy a really, really cool one for about $2,500, or you can rent them for a couple $100s a day. You could create a video with one of those things. You say, well, what would I create a video for? Well, come on, man, you're in the home improvement industry. Do you sell roofs? Do you sell siding? Do you sell windows? Do you sell gutters? Here's what we can do. We can prove the strength. We can start shooting baseballs or potatoes at windows or roofing materials or siding materials. Oh, well, we've got the strongest siding materials. Really? Let's prove it. Make a video. It's really cool. We've done this for clients. It's awesome. Storm-proof windows. There's a great video on YouTube. I was going to show it, but I don't have time. If you go and look on YouTube under Schwinco Hurricane Windows, they do a demonstration in a mall where they take their window product and they take these two big buff guys that they apparently recruited from the bodybuilding gym, and they give them chains, bats, crowbars, and they start wailing on these windows, and they can't break through them because they're hurricane windows. What a great demonstration. Here's the cool thing about it. You can do it on your stinking iPhone. Well, I can't make a video. It's too expensive. No, it's not. Do you currently have an iPhone or an Android equivalent? Guess what? If you've got $4.99, you can download iMovie from Apple, and you can make your own movie. It's the craziest, easiest thing in the world. Take your iPad and make a movie, okay? It's easy to do. Post it on your website. Shoot this email around. Use it on social media. It's really cool. But here's the thing you need to remember. The more interesting, crazy, wacky the video, we're talking guerrilla marketing here, the better, okay? Now, creating a scene. Part 2, live events. Think about locations. Could you take your flamethrower and your potato gun to local neighborhoods and put on a demonstration? In my neighborhood, there's about 300 homes, and there's a community pool. It's Texas, so we got swimming pools around here. So you go down here to the swimming pool, you flyer the whole neighborhood for 2 or 3 times for a week before, and you say, Friday at 5 o'clock, we're going to be putting on a demonstration with flamethrowers and air cannons. Come check it out. Do you think people will come? Well, I don't know. Try it. See if you can get people to gather around. Take your window, start shooting the air cannon. What a great investment. The air cannon. Who knew? Flamethrowers. Technically, it's illegal to have the cool kind of flamethrower, but you can get the crop burning torches that are also pretty good. And start showing how they don't melt in the wind. And here's the vinyl window that melts, and here's the fiberglass one that doesn't, or here's the heat meter, and all these cool demonstrations that you could do. You just need to gather a crowd. What about other places where people congregate, ballparks, other kinds of parks, recreation facilities? I'm talking about around your local community, shopping malls, just like the guy that had the bodybuilders breaking or attempting to break windows. You can do this, but it takes a little time. It takes a little bit of orchestration, and these are the kinds of things that most people just don't take the time to do. What about at the home show? Rent a little bit bigger booth. Put a bunch of netting around it and start shooting baseballs at your product. Now, I'm not saying that your product is going to be, good to shoot baseballs at, but if it is, do it. Or out in the parking lot, who knows? Get some people before they even walk in. Make sure you check with the local authorities to make sure it's legal. Okay, making a scene part 3. This is what I call Pimp My Ride. Pimp My Ride. You seen the TV show Pimp My Ride? Okay, it's where they take an old clunked out car and they make it really, really cool. It's called Pimp My Ride. All right? They put paint, leather, gadgets, cool wheels, all that kind of stuff. Well, what if you took something that was normal or usual in your business and put an unusual twist on it? This is what we call Pimp My Ride. People will notice it. They'll gravitate towards it. Here's what I want you to think. Look at your business and think, what can I make bigger? What can I make more colorful? What can I make fancier? What can I make more beautiful or more glamorous? And you're probably sitting there going, I don't have any idea what this guy's talking about. That's all right. That's what I'm here for. Well, what will make your business stand out from the crowd? What singular thing will make people stand up and take notice, make people pay attention after they pay, tell their friends about? What will they make an effort to come back for? Let me tell you this story, okay? I went to this hotel to do a seminar one time, and I wanted to get some food. When I got there, they sent me up the street. The hotel restaurant was closed. They sent me up the street to this place that was, they said had fajitas. So I went up there, and it turns out it was inside of this, like, combination soccer shop where people came to, like, buy soccer stuff and driving range. What an odd combination. And they had this little taco shack in there that had fajitas. Now, how many times have you ever had fajitas before? I've had fajitas a lot, and on your screen here you see fajitas. This is what they typically look like. So I was kind of a little bit nervous. It was this little teeny taco shack, kind of nasty-ish looking place in this little sort of pro shop / driving range. It was a little creepy, but I ordered the fajitas, and when it came out, I was absolutely blown away, because here's what the guy put on my plate. This was his fajita. I named it the Wicked Angel Fajita. You see around the edge, it's sour cream that's sort of artfully, decoratively squirted on there or whatever. It's got the circles going. That's rice in the middle with the meat on it. It's got these chips at the top. And I thought, if a guy can make a spectacle out of a fajita, out of a flipping fajita, what could you do? Well, let's look at some examples that you're familiar with. Big Bertha is a great example of this. Callaway Golf was doing just a few $100,000 in '82. They were doing $10 million, so they had some growth in the '80s. In 1990, $22 million, so they're doing pretty good. In 1991, they introduced the Big Bertha. They went to $54 million, $849 billion. They went over $1 billion less than 10 years after this. Here's why: a big golf club with a wicked name. They asked the owner, Eli Callaway, who invented the Big Bertha, do you really think that name sounds like an old lady? What's the deal? He said, I don't know if people like this name or not, but I know they'll remember it. The Big Bertha. Okay, he made something that was typical, a golf club head. He made it big, and it made it cool. You've also seen this. Apple is the master at this. Remember the iMac when it came out? Got everybody's attention. The Air Jordan when it came out. Victoria's Secret took underwear off of the Montgomery Ward's rack and put it onto models and transformed the entire category. And, of course, the thin computers at Apple, iPods, all that kind of stuff, okay? So how could we pimp your ride? Make things big, oversized, unique designs, okay, fun, make the ordinary extraordinary, make the unusual unusual, make the boring interesting. So let's talk about a plumber. Drive an unusual vehicle, bring a huge gold wrench with him. What if the guy had a wrench made that was, 3 feet tall, a huge golden plunger inside of a special case? You say, well, where do you get stuff like that? And the answer is, I don't know. Figure it out. You are trying to create a spectacle, okay, so that when you walk into the guy's house, he remembers you when you leave. That was the guy with the big old freaking golden plunger. That was awesome. It was in a case. He brought it in. It was handcuffed to him. I don't know. Do something that people remember. Wear booties. Give them a no-crack guarantee. They'll remember that. Here's what we're trying to do. Things that people will notice. Look at the vehicle. He's sitting on the toilet. You say, well, that's irreverent. We wouldn't do that. Well, it's called guerrilla marketing, okay? This isn't called regular marketing. It's called guerrilla marketing. Is this what you should be doing throughout your entire career? I don't know. You decide. What is your company like? What is your company brand all about? Maybe this doesn't fit. I know this. Look at the bottom. Let me ask you this. How much do you think it costs, Sweet and Sassy, to buy, decorate, and have this limo sitting out front of their store all year long? Answer: about $1,800 a month. You say, well, that's a lot of money. I can't afford that. Well, okay, fine. But here's what I'm trying to tell you. This company, for $1,800 a month, has this perpetual advertisement that everybody that ever drives by and sees it rolling around town sees and goes, wow, this is called genius. And then plus they get to charge people. I'm not saying have a limo. I'm saying have something that's interesting. What if you did have a limo instead of a truck? I don't know. I'm not saying have a limo instead of a truck. I'm saying think about this stuff, people, okay? What about Pink? This is what we had. We had a painting company. They were getting just normal results. I said, here's the problem. You're just another painting company. Well, what do you do that's any better or different than anybody else? He said, well, we're good at painting. Okay, guess what? Lots of painting companies are good at painting. What if you had hot pink shirts and pink jumpsuits that your painters painted in? You painted your trucks pink. Your business card and your invoices were pink. You used a big pink drop cloth. Your paintbrushes, your ladders, your trays, your buckets were all pink. You had pink job signs, pink advertisements, pink flyers. Do you think anybody would take notice? Now, you'll realize here, the key here is not the color pink. That's one that happens to get a lot of notice. It could be any other color. Here's what I'm saying. Do something that people will notice. Now, here's a Guerilla quick hit. Single people out. I'm shifting gears here on you very quickly, okay? Single people out. Well, what do you mean? Well, what if you ran an advertisement that said, during the month of April, we've got a special offer for all people with mustaches. Now, before you say, well, that's dumb, understand the power of people to key in on things that are similar to them. What if you had a special offer for people who were over 350 pounds? You ever heard of the Heart Attack Grill? They have a huge sign outside of their store, free meals to anybody over 350 pounds. You say, well, that's really, odd and weird and not politically correct. Well, I'm not telling you to do it. I'm giving you ideas of singling people out, because here's what happens. You get a tremendous amount of people noticing. What if you had an offer for people over 80 years old, especially, let's say, you're in the, what do you call it? It slipped my mind all of a sudden. Aging in place business. And you said, look, we've got a special offer for people that are over 80 years old. Well, guess what? That's who you're trying to sell to anyway. Not exclusively, but that's a good segment. What about people with fake legs, or people named Tina, or people in certain professions, CPAs, people who work in chiropractors' offices, people who own the Rush 2112 album? You say, well, that's weird. I don't even understand what you're talking about. Okay, let me bring this home for you. Imagine that you are advertising on the radio, and you go to the classic rock station, and you say, we have got a special offer today only. We will install gutter protection for any customer that owns the album Rush 2112. Now, if you're on the classic rock station, what percentage of the customers own the album Rush 2112? Probably about all of them, or whatever. Boston's greatest hit, it doesn't matter. Do you see where I'm going with this? This is something that we have used with tremendous success, but people, you got to have a little imagination. People who like the TV show Psych, people who drive orange cars, you can do mailers. Did you know that you can get a list of all the CPAs in the area, and you can send a list to them that says, I've got a special offer specifically and only for CPAs. I have a very unusual reason for liking CPAs, and I'll let you know what it is when you call. But right now, for CPAs only, we will do the following, and then you give them whatever the offer is. I don't care what the offer is. You figure that out. I'm trying to help you see here. By singling people out, it raises attention. It makes people pay attention and say, wow, that's interesting. And even if you don't have a mustache, guess what? They still notice. And then guess what you can do the next day? You can do it, for whatever other group you want. And then it becomes an interesting ongoing saga, okay? Now, we're going to pause down here, and we're going to give away a couple of books. All right, book number 1. Let's see. Judy, why don't you go ahead and tell me who those books are going to go to, and if you'll just message that to me, I will then go to the next thing, which is a couple of quick commercials from our sponsors. The first one is going to be from Dave Wilson from Liners Direct, and let me get over to the proper. Man, I have to just sort of power down for a minute to get going on these webinars. Dave, are you there with me? You should be with me now.
I am. Good morning, Rich. Thank you, everybody. And don't power
Dave,
down.
do you have a mustache?
I do not, and I don't.
Are you over 350 pounds?
No, thank goodness, I am not.
Do you own the album Rush 2112?
I absolutely own, not on vinyl, but on CD.
Okay, and do you like the TV show Psych?
Love it.
Okay, you get 2 out of 4 discounts. Go ahead, give us the skinny on Bath Wraps by Liner Direct.
Fantastic. Good morning, everybody. My name is Dave Wilson. I'm the Director of Marketing at Bath Wraps for Liners Direct. Bath Wraps is the leader in the one-day bath manufacturing. Our dealers enjoy the finest and accessible bathing products, so think about the folks over 80 and the folks 350 pounds plus. That's a perfect plug for a lot of our products. Our dealers also enjoy exclusive territories and high-volume lead generation program from here at headquarters. We do the leads on a per-inquiry basis, meaning that we use our money, we take the risk, and dealers enjoy the leads. And it's getting bigger and better all the time. I know we've got a lot of folks on the line who are currently enrolled in our lead gen program, and they can vouch better than I can from headquarters. Bath is the hottest category in home remodeling for 2013. That's been shown in the USA Today and a few NAHB studies recently. With our walk-in tub program and other accessible bathing options, you really are becoming on the right side of the demographics with the aging seniors and boomer population that we have in the country. So to learn more and explore how Bath Wraps can expand your business into Bath or jumpstart an existing Bath business if you have one, please do reach out via Rich or via the website on the screen, or at any time, bathwraps.com/dealer or dave@linersdirect.com. Thank you, and keep it going, Rich. This is great.
Okay, thanks, Dave. Appreciate that. And, hey, let me just tell everybody something. Let me tell you how extraordinarily unusual this is, what Bath Wraps does. For a company to say, hey, you know, we've got great products and great support, that's true, and they do. And I don't want to minimize that on this call, but I want to point out how unbelievable it is. A couple of things. Number one, that they've got a I forgot what you called it, Dave, but you pay just for leads. You say, how many leads do you want? You pay them, and they give you the leads. How awesome is that? Answer, really, really awesome. Number two, if you want to cut a commercial, you go to their office, and they've got all the stuff there to cut it, and they make it so super turnkey and easy. It's awesome. So get in touch with these folks. Next, we're going to hear from our longest tenured sponsor, going back to 1940. No, back to 2005. My good friend Tim Mush, and I'm going to unmute you. Tim, are you there with me?
I am, Rich. How you doing?
Hey, why don't you tell us about Market Sharp? People are dying to know.
All right, I will. I don't know if you got an additional slide there or not. If so, advance to it. Otherwise, no problem. Listen, at Market Sharp, what we do is we have, I guess the best way to describe it is a web-based CRM system. That would be a customer relationship management system, pretty much designed for the industry we're all in. It's kind of a cool thing. You know, it's not like you get a piece of software that's empty and you got to spend a lot of time and fill it up with stuff. It's got it all in. It's kind of like a business in a box that happens to reside in software. And I'm really kind of interested in some of the things you're talking about here today and kind of thinking outside the box. And there's plenty of things you can do with data to do this. And Rich mentioned some of the things like isolating various groups and things like that. And I'm a big believer of the concept of you have to figure out how to turn data into dollars nowadays. You know, the marketing experts are saying data is really the new currency. And it doesn't sound too fun, you know, this thing data and stuff like that, but we got to get our arms around that. We got to have systems and processes in place to manage this stuff. And a couple of new things we've just added recently, Rich, I know some things that you've asked for over the years, is we got some automatic communication processes built in Market Sharp now, where let's say you have an unsold lead and you made a presentation they didn't buy, and we know that by statistics, 60% of them will buy within a year. How about putting some sort of follow-up system on autopilot so you pretty much can set it and forget it and make sure you're contacting these people 10, 15 times within the year. That's something we got brand new in Market Sharp that allows you to do that. Also, the program will really help you do what we call know your numbers, which is really have your finger on the pulse of your business and know what's going on. And with today's marketplace, that is absolutely critical to know what's working, what's not, where should I spend my marketing dollars, which salesperson should I send out on this job, and so forth and so on. So there's plenty of other things we can do, including things like help you with your web strategies. Now, we really don't do website stuff. You know, you can get information from Rich and his company on that. But what's interesting is a lot of people spend a lot of money to try to generate leads on the web, only to get people to land on a landing page or request an estimate or a consumer guide, and then not follow up literally within 5 minutes. Because, again, we've learned through surveying and statistics, I think MIT did a statistic or a survey that pointed out if you don't get back to these web leads within 5 minutes, your chances go right down the sewer. So you got to have some automated processes to help you with all that. So that's enough for me, Rich. Got plenty of other things that we can do with Market Sharp. If you're interested, just get a hold of us at marketsharp.com or give us a call at that number. So back to you, buddy.
All right, thanks, Tim. And Tim does have a mustache and 2112, so he's got all the discounts going here. Okay, here's what we're going to do next. We're going to take the second poll, and this is a poll about our sponsors. So here's what I want to ask you just quickly, if you would please fill this in. Which of the following companies would you like to hear from? And you know what? I think I think I might have messed this up. All right. I'm going to have to redo this one later. Keep going. Go ahead and fill it in. Fill it in. Fill it in. I'm going to redo this. I'm going to redo this here in just a few minutes because I got it to where you can only choose one instead of choosing multiples. I apologize for that. We'll fix that and come back to it a little bit later. So I'm not going to show you the results of that poll. Let's keep going on this webinar, though. All right. Let's get into Guerrilla mailing. Guerrilla mailing. All right. Hang on just one second. All right. Hang on just a second. Okay, that was good. We got it covered. All right, fantastic. That actually worked just fine. Guerrilla mailing, let's talk about this. You might say, well, we're a newer company, we're a smaller company, we don't have a ton of money to do mailing. Well, I'm going to show you how to maximize your return on your mailing. And these are ideas that are going to work good for you no matter how much mailing or how far you go with this. MarketSharp can help you manage getting the mailings out. By definition, something big is going to be more likely to be seen by small, but the problem is there's a lot of big mail out there in your mailbox, especially with all the catalogs and stuff that are going out, magazines, but still, it's better than small. Let me give you some ideas of some ways that you can do guerrilla mailing with some interesting, unusual things, okay? So first of all, there's shiny envelopes. You can get these from a company called Uline. They're going to get a lot of attention in the mailbox. Now, these things do cost more, obviously, to send than to use just a regular envelope or a postcard or something like that. So, again, per what I said at the very beginning of this webinar, test. You've got to test, okay? They're going to attract a lot of attention. The bigger, the better. Again, you can get these at Uline or uline.com. Just use this as sort of a quick introduction. Next, huge postcards, 14 by 11. This sucker will get noticed for sure. They're going to open their mailbox. It's going to jump out and sort of punch them in the face in a nice way. World's worst energy suckers. Your home's windows may needlessly waste more energy than a full-size SUV, okay? Which sucks more energy, your home's windows? And then, 11 by 14 postcards. We also can do a 15 by 7. This reaches the limit of the very largest that you can put into somebody's mailbox through the U.S. Postal Service. You see here we put together a $1,000 bill, and you flip it over. It's got the message, but this thing will get seen. The check mailers are a good guerrilla mailing tactic. You've probably seen this before. I know that MarketSharp has been heavily involved and has stock for you to be able to do these, so you might want to check with them on this. Appears to be a check. The amount should be believable. You don't want an $80,000 check. Check should be tied to an offer. Test different formulas. Let me give you just a quick tip on the check mailer. One of the best ways to do a check mailer is go to your past customers, if you've got past customers, and send them a check for a very specific amount of money that is different for each customer. It takes a little bit of time and effort to do, but this is something, again, that MarketSharp could help you out with. But let's say that you've got 500 customers, and you want to give them a check worth, let's say, 8% of the previous value that they spent with you. So if they spent $10,000, you're going to give them an $800 check. But the cool thing is that nobody ever spent $10,000 with you. They probably spent $9,817. So if they spent $9,817 and you give them 8%, you now give them a check for $785.36. Now, by definition of what we're talking about today, the number $785.36 is very unusual. Therefore, it's noticed. Therefore, it's interesting. And then you can tell people the rationale, which is, hey, we're giving you 8% of what you spent with us before to spend with us on future projects. Or, if you like, you can pass this along to a friend if you don't need anything now, and they can use it. Either way, this works like gangbusters. We took about a $50 million window company. Oh, that's not a new company. I know. That's why I'm telling you this story about a $50 million window company, very well established. We mailed this offer like I just described it to their customer base in November, and they had their biggest December ever. They exceeded their biggest December by $3 million. This offer, like I'm explaining it to you. Not the one on your screen, but the one that I'm explaining to you, okay? We've used this for all different kinds of companies. We don't need to go through this in extreme detail, But this is what we want to do, is make the check look as realistic as possible. If you don't have previous customers, another thing that we've done very successfully is we've taken a check and we've used this letter, a letter that goes out and it has an amount that's sort of an oddball amount, $317.18 or whatever. And it has a rationale that says, we've used other types of advertising and they didn't work. We used radio advertising and it was a big bust. My boss got mad at me and said, take the money and just give it to our customers instead of wasting it on radio. And that method has worked extraordinarily well as well. Now, here's a good one. Official notice. These are envelopes that you can purchase through, regular envelope vendors, that when it is received by the prospect, it looks like it's an official notice. Now, when you have an official notice like this, it does look official, so it's going to tend to get open. My recommendation is that inside of these envelopes, instead of just having a typical ad, you have something that says official notice or safety warning. You say, well, what kind of safety warning? Well, safety warning, it could be related to potential hazards with gutters, with ice dams or something like that. Or it could be for windows that don't open properly and need to be inspected to make sure that they operate properly, and that gives you an in as a window company. You see where I'm going with this, okay? Official looking mailers. Next, this gets a little bit more expensive. Test this on a very small basis. Everyone loves getting a gift. Send an actual package with something fun and unusual in it. This will get opened and it will get noticed. It can be expensive. Like I said, test this thing first. All right, so what kinds of things? Well, a little trash can with ground up money in it. You've seen shredded money. This is not expensive either. You don't have to take actual money and shred it. You can buy shredded money from the U.S. Whatever, Treasury or something like that. You put it in there, and guess what you say on your trash can? Instead of the one on my screen that says A&A Recycling, it says your company name, and it says quit throwing money in the trash through your energy bills. It gets their attention. Maybe you can give them an iPod. I don't know. You say, well, that's really expensive to give people an iPod. Uh-oh, my slides are not moving. Sorry about that. Here we go. Give them an iPod. Oh, sorry. That was my bad. Send them a crocodile, some kind of a toy, a hotline phone. If you've got a problem, call us on this phone. They're very inexpensive to get these. Send them a huge box of hot tamales. This is a massive box. This is my son holding it in Las Vegas. Okay? Send them a coconut. I said, well, this is really crazy. Well, if you send somebody a coconut, number one, they're going to see it. You say, well, what am I going to do? Send a coconut to 5,000 people? No, you are not going to send a coconut to 5,000 people. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to send a coconut to 5 people and see if it works, or 18 people and see if it works, okay? Find a package that catches people off guard. It stands out in the mail pile. Test it, okay? Tubes. You can buy these from Uline, or you can get tubes like this from the U.S. Postal Service. Now, it does cost more money to send, but in terms of getting opened, it can't be beat, okay? Did you know that you can send medicine bottles? These are commercially available through regular vendors. If you send a medicine bottle and you're trying to reach older people, they're going to notice. Even if you don't reach older people, they're going to notice this stuff. So here's what I'm trying to say. Test these things in small samples. They do cost more money to execute, but the return can be tremendous, and they can be tested on a small scale inexpensively, okay? Now, here's a Guerrilla quick hit. Take one boxes. I'm going to recommend that anytime you use your job site sign, see, the problem with job site signs is you can't say a lot on them. They're too small. There's just not a lot of room on them. So here's one for free light windows, no sales pressure, no hassles, no regrets, but get a take one box and put a flyer in it that is identity-based. The take one box is going to cost you between $12 and $20. Just go onto Google and type take one boxes. You'll find 100 places that sell them, and people will take these. It'll increase the value of that job site sign exponentially. People walking their dogs. Now, you might say, well, kids are going to take the flyers and steal them because they're kids and that's what they do, and that's true. It's going to happen. But you know what? Test this. Try it. See what happens. They're cheap enough that you can fill them up and forget them if you want to. You don't even have to go back and pick them up. Let the homeowner deal with it later, or pick them up later. It's up to you. Whatever. It doesn't matter, okay? You don't even have to have a customer. Just go put these in people's – go find people that are willing to let you put their sign in their yard. I'll pay you $100 to put my sign in your yard. Why not? Okay. All right, let's talk about your web address. So here's what I'm going to recommend you get: an easy-to-remember URL or phone number, especially if you've got vehicles, if you've got any kind of signage, if you've got any kind of print ads, if you do any kind of broadcast media, basically anything. So here's what we do. You remember Big Bertha? And remember Eli Calloway said, I don't really know if people like the name Big Bertha or not, but I know they'll remember it. So let's say that you're Midland Roofing, midlandroofing.com. Nobody's going to remember that. But here's what people will remember: bestdamnroofing.com. Guess what? I sat down when I was preparing this webinar, and I searched on GoDaddy all of these addresses, and they were all available. You say, well, I would never use a swear word in the middle of my web address. I'm not telling you to. I'm telling you, think of something that's easy for people to remember. killerroofing.com, notsuckyroofing.com, notaripOffroofing.com, treatyoulikemom.com. Maybe that sounds a little more your speed. treatyoulikemom.com. Did you know that web address is available right now for whoever wants to go buy it right now? In the next 10 seconds, it's going to go, because I got a ton of people on this webinar, and somebody's looking at that going, yeah, treatyoulikemom.com, JesusLovesYouRoofing.com, HotPinkRoofing.com, whatever. Go figure it out. Find something that's easier to remember that people will be able to latch on to, so that when you run your radio ad, you run your newspaper ad, you run your whatever, people will remember it. Nobody gives a darn about MidlandRoofing.com, but if you're JesusLovesYouRoofing.com, people are going to remember that. If you're Free Roof for People with Mustaches.com, I don't know, combine a couple of ideas here. BigFatRoofing.com is available. All right, let's talk about gift cards. Let me give you just a couple of different gift card strategies. Now, when I say gift card, what I'm talking about is creating an actual plastic gift card. What you need to do is this: take your wallet out right now and pull out a credit card, and I want you to look at it. This is what I'm talking about: is creating a gift card that's like a real gift card that you would get from your mom at Christmas time or something. It's plastic. It's not just fakey looking. They cost a little bit of money to produce, maybe $1 a piece or something like that, less if you get a lot of them, and make them in various denominations for your business. And then use them in some very creative ways. Use them as appointment setters. As you're out canvassing, you're at the home show. Say, you know what, my boss has authorized me to give you an extra $250 gift card. You hand it to them if you'll set an appointment with our person. And they look at it, and because it's a gift card, and because it's plastic, and because they tend to have intrinsic value, people tend to think that, hey, this is worth something. And they know that it's not, a $100 gift card for Visa or for Home Depot or for, Toys R Us, but they look at it and they go, wow, that's worth money. Use it as incentives at advertising. I won't go into detail on that. Put it in mailers. Do you know that you can, if you take a mailer and you put a little sticky thing on the back of the gift card and you actually mail the gift card, it will increase your direct mail response a ton. Now, it takes time and it takes effort and it takes money to execute that. But again, test it small. Here's an interesting one, a deal clincher. A deal clincher. Let me tell you about this. I did not invent this. I'm just kind of passing the news along here. But this is a pretty interesting deal. A company had a $500 gift card. The guy went out to close an appointment. He couldn't get the deal closed. The guy was on the edge. He's like, yeah, I want to get some more quotes. I'm kind of thinking about it. The guy pulled out the gift card. It was a $500 gift card for his company. I believe it was a Renewal by Anderson dealer in California. He pulled it out of his wallet, okay, next to it, out of his billfold, right, by his credit cards and stuff. And he pulls it out and he goes, you know what, I don't know if this would make a difference or not, but we had a home show this last weekend where we were giving away five $500 gift cards, and the person had to be present to win, and we gave 4 of them away, but one of the people wasn't there, so we didn't ever give the gift card away. And this morning in our sales meeting, my boss asked if anybody wanted this, and said, you're allowed to give this to somebody if it'll make the difference in them closing and buying from us today versus waiting and comparing and stuff like that. So I don't know if that fits you or not, but if you'd be willing to go ahead and sign the deal today, I'd go ahead and give you this $500 gift card. We were going to give it away to somebody anyway. So if you'd like to take advantage of this, I'm happy to give it to you, but it's only going to be good if you use it today, and I've only got one. So it's a kind of a weird one-off thing. And he said, now, here's the truth. That story was true the first time, but it worked so well that he kept using it with the same story. So I don't know, ethically, you decide how you want to handle that. But you know what? He said the guy literally fell trying to reach across the table and grab the card, and he closed the deal. Gift card clincher, okay? Referrals, use these in referral. You get a referral, send this over to your the referred person, $500 gift card, good towards any project, courtesy of your friend who thought enough about you to give this deal to you, okay? I don't got a lot of time to go into detail on that, but gift cards can be fantastic, okay? And this, as you can see here, when we make gift cards, we make them look really, really nice. We want them to look very official, okay? Now, let's talk about a Guerilla secret weapon, financing. I'm going to encourage you to use financing up front in your entire sales process. Here's what you think. People with money have less money than you actually think. 38% of homeowners, this is according to GE Capital, said that they would not have made their purchase without financing. The average sale goes up. Again, according to GE Capital, the average sale when no interest is paid in full months is $5,519. This is their stats. Average sale with no interest is paid in up to 36 months, $6,804. Average sale with longer term, low APR financing, $7,466. So here's what I'm trying to say. Look how much the sale goes up by offering financing. I gave this to my one of my customers, a closet organization company in Memphis. I said, you need to get on this program with GE Capital. By the way, GE Capital is a seminar sponsor of ours. So and I sought them out because I wanted to make this available to my customer. They did not seek me out. I sought them out and said, I told my customer, go to GE Capital, get signed up. Their average deal is about $3,200. The very first appointment they ran with financing as a first option, $7,700. The customer said, well, as long as I can do it for a monthly payment, I might as well do all 3 closets instead of just one, okay? Do not use financing as a last-ditch effort to salvage a lost deal. That's what a lot of you do. Well, I don't want to pay the 6%. No. It sabotages your ability to use it properly. Sell the payments, just like car companies do. Mr. and Mrs. Prospect, we have several financing options to make this project affordable. This is what you say at the very, very, very beginning of the sales call, before you go into any of the other stuff. How much do you feel would fit comfortably into your monthly budget to make this project happen? $200, $300, $89, whatever the case is. Average sale goes up about 60%. $2,300 margin versus $3,750 at a 6% cost. That's $450 on a $7,500 sale. Your net profit is about $1,000, okay? About $1,000. Do you want $1,000? Remember, you cannot spend percentages. You say, well, our percentage of profit goes down. Yeah, but you can't spend percentages. You can only spend dollars, and if the dollars goes up by 1,000, what do you care, okay? Okay, next, moving right along quickly, secret weapon, being inflammatory, saying things that people don't expect. Radio, print, mailing. Let me give you an example. I'm going to play for you a radio commercial. I am not suggesting that this is what you want to do all the time. This is a guerrilla marketing tactic. This will make people listen. Ready? Here we go.
Any idiot can install a roof. It doesn't take a genius to grab a hammer, a bucket of nails, and pound shingles into a house. Any goofball with a pickup truck and a homemade business card can pretty much call himself a roofer. Does it really matter? Of course it does, because roofing, like everything else, can be done the right way or the wrong way. And since your roof might cost $10,000 or more to install, the last thing you want is an idiot fool on your house. If an idiot installs the belt pads improperly, you'll be lucky if your roof lasts half as long as it should. If some goofball messes up the venting, your roof will overheat and ruin your shingles in 3 years instead of 25. If some fool uses the wrong materials just to save himself a buck, you're the one who's going to take it in the shorts. So call Nordine Remodeling for your roof. We are not idiots, we are not goofballs, and we're not a bunch of fools. We're the only roofer.
Okay, I think you get the idea. Again, this is something inflammatory, has to be used cautiously. You don't want to just go out there saying weird stuff. But you know what? Here's the advantage of it. People listen, people pay attention. Here's the other thing. That commercial that you just listened to, you might be saying to yourself, well, I would never run that ad in a million years. Well, here's what you need to know. People pay attention. It sounds real. It sounds authentic, and it happens to work. Now, again, test things, look for problems, and proceed accordingly. Okay? I've got some other ones, but we don't have time to listen to. Let me show you this ad. $65,000 brain surgery, now only $18,900, almost as good as the original, minimal sacrifice required. Now, this is something that people are going to look at. You run this as a print ad. Maybe you put this in a mailer. If you can't afford full-price brain surgery, you no longer have to go without. Thanks to our innovative no-frills approach, brain surgery is now available to anyone on any budget and without sacrificing quality. Here's how we do it. Number one, no expensive doctors. MDs have to go through years of medical school and residency. That costs a lot of money. We use what we call near docs, who are people who wanted to go to medical school but either couldn't afford it or weren't disciplined enough to hack it. We require all near docs to watch at least 100 episodes of realistic network television medical dramas. Now, obviously, this is silly, ridiculous, and weird, but here's what's happening. We're taking people and getting their attention. They're going to read this because it's so unusual, so unexpected, and then we're going to deliver our message at the very bottom. No expensive insurance. No expensive hospitals. Who could blame you for wanting to avoid the high cost of hospitals? They want something like $900 a day for a little shared room, and most brain operations require at least 10 days in the hospital. You can see where a lot of your money is going. Our facility is conveniently located at the Stack and Store mini stores just off Highway 79 and Pool Road. We occupy 2 air-conditioned units, 17 and 18 for your comfort. Obviously, again, silly. No expensive anesthesia, no expensive rehabilitation. The tagline at the bottom, don't worry, it's just your brain. Go for it. The Starburst says now using the Miracle Blade 3. Maybe you should think twice before calling the $189 window companies too. You get what you pay for. You see how this works? It funnels them down to this conclusion. At the bottom, there's a disclaimer, and it says, hey, this is a joke. It's not a real ad for brain surgery, and plus, we don't use the Miracle Blade 3. We use the Ginsu. It's kind of tongue-in-cheek, and then we got a free report for replacement windows. This kind of stuff gets talked about. This kind of stuff also has good viral capacity, okay? Here's a check mailer. We talked about check mailers earlier. Here's an interesting check mailer from Taylor & Young. It says $0 check. My marketing guy insisted you be dumb enough to believe this was a real check, so I told him I don't offer stupid fake discounts. So here's a fake check for $0.00. If you're interested in great windows without all the games and sales pressure, then call the window nerd, okay? This gets noticed. It gets people to laugh a little bit, and it gets them to understand. In this case, and in both cases, there's really a very strong message behind the joke, which is we don't have stupid fake discounts. We give you straightforward pricing. With the Miracle Blade and the doctors, the message was you need to pay the right amount of money to get a quality window. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble, right? Okay? Let's talk about guerrilla negotiation, getting great deals on advertising. Go to a media outlet and offer pay-per-result advertising. Instead of paying you $3,000 for the ads, I will pay you $50 for every response. We'll put a tracking system in place. We'll make it transparent to you and see what they say. A lot of times they'll say yes. It works best if you do it in person. It works best if you pre-write a check. Now, this gets a little bit expensive because you got to have the money, but you write a check. So you say, I'll pay you $50. Here is a check for $5,000 for the first 100 responses, and here's why you want to do it in person, because if they say no, you take the check with their name on it and you burn it right in front of their face. We have done this. Clients of mine have literally done this, and it works. Now, it doesn't work every time. There's no such thing as, hey, it works every time, but we've seen it work. The guy comes back the next day, talks to the sales manager. When they see a check with their name on it, and then they see it getting burned, ooh, man, the whole ballpark changes. It's a different situation, okay? All right, moving right along, Guerilla Secret Weapon, holiday selling, November, December. It's hard to sell, right? Well, create a special offer for the holidays. Tell a first-person story about how you're always slow in the winter. Be specific. Pile multiple offers together. Set time limits. Let me show you how this works. This is a 4-page ad. It doesn't have to be a 4-page ad, but this just happens to be a 4-page ad. Why November might be the best time to add a sunroom. Our November and December sales volume is usually 70% less than the rest of the year. This year, as part of a daring test, I'm willing to give you a bona fide 20% off so we can keep our crews busy. Then it tells a story with lots of specificity. It says last year they only sold 5 jobs in November and 4 in December. Normally they sell 12 to 18 in a regular month. I told my management staff, to heck with profit, let's just keep everyone busy. Translation, win-win. Our offer is strictly limited to 15 jobs each, no exceptions. To be honest, we have no idea if this will work or not. Vulnerability. We might be overwhelmed. We may hear the proverbial crickets chirping in our showroom, but just to be safe, we're going to only accept 15 customers per month. On the right-hand side of the ad, you see specific examples with specific prices. This is usually a big no-no. Don't show prices in advertising. We can't do that. Well, it makes the offer more believable. All right. I'm going to go to the back page of this ad. Buy now. You'll also receive 4 bonuses worth $35.89. Do this first. Choose 2 of the 3 bonuses below. Free flooring, free window washing, free furniture. The reason we give them a choice of 2 out of the 3 is it forces their brain to engage in the process and decide what they want. This is critical. Then do this. Call us at this number, set an appointment. We'll give you 2 more gifts, a free vacation and a free heat-cool unit that are worth, $2,589 respectively. We ran this ad and sold 30 sunrooms in less than a month in November and early December, okay? Same thing here on a oversized postcard, okay? Now, let's just transition to the end of this webinar. Kind of gone through a lot of stuff. Let me talk to you about Guerrilla hiring. How do you find out before you hire somebody if they're a self-starter, if they're going to be loyal to you, if they're just going to be some kind of a regular, whatever? Do this. Send them a questionnaire with 20 questions about themselves. Ask them stuff about their skills, their strengths, what kind of money they're trying to make, what their experience is, whatever you want. Normal kind of stuff. Put about 20 questions on it. It's important that there's not 2 or 3 questions. It's important that there's about 20 because part of the test is just seeing if people will actually fill it out. Then question 21 is this. It says, go to Google and type in a message to Garcia. You will find a short essay by Albert Hubbard. Read the essay and answer the following questions. Number 1, what are your overall impressions of the essay? Number 2, name 3 times in your career where you performed like Rowan in the essay. Thus. Now, here's what you need to do. You need to go to Google and you need to type in a message to Garcia. It's a story about, it was written in 1899, lamenting how difficult it is to find people to work that will actually do things without being basically lorded over and forced to get the job done right. And tells an interesting little story about a guy named Rowan who delivered a message to General Garcia during I think it was the Spanish-American War in the late 1800s. Anyway, little teeny story, takes about 5 minutes to read, and when people read this, they'll fill out this form, they'll answer these questions, and you will find out all you ever need to know about that person's initiative, their ability to be a self-starter, and their loyalty, and you will be shocked and dismayed at some of the answers that you get. And you'll also find that the majority don't actually take time to actually do it, which is people you don't want in the first place. It says at the bottom, congratulations, by simply returning this, you've already outcompeted 60% of the applicants. We'll review your answers and get back to you shortly. I have used this with great success over the years. You might want to consider it as well. Okay, let's transition to the end. If you'll stick with me for just a few minutes, I want to tell you some things that we can do to help you out. You should have received an email a few minutes ago from my office with an offer to set an appointment to discuss some of the strategies that we can help you with. We offer foundational marketing to remodeling companies that you have to have in order to operate. This isn't optional stuff. It's not like would be nice to have stuff. It starts with forging an identity. We haven't really talked a lot about that on today's webinar. It is the core principle of all marketing that makes sense. And this is what we do. We help companies put together their identities. Then we choose which, then you can choose which packages make the most sense for your business. So for instance, we've got website packages, pre-positioning, home shows, proximity, new movers, SEO, pay-per-click, ad writing packages. These are things that we can help you put together for your company. All right? So do this next. Request a free identity consultation and website evaluation. You can do that on our website. We'll discuss your business, your situation. We'll discuss your identity. Your identity is really what you're all about, what makes you different and better than your competitors, what people can expect when they do business with you, and we put it into your website, your advertisements, everything you do so that it becomes instantly evident that you're the best company to do business with, okay? We'll evaluate your website for conversion ability. Spoiler alert, it's probably not very good. To request a consultation, go to mymonline.com/consultation, okay? Let me show you what that looks like. If you go to our website, you'll see a yellow tab on the main navigation, and it says Remodelers. If you'll click on that, you can go to a page called Bonus Package, and it shows what some of our offerings are. We've got our MYM Insider memberships and MYM Live training programs. We sell those in combination together for $8,985. It's easy to afford. It's $2,000 down and $499 a month. You can schedule an appointment by simply clicking the yellow Schedule an Appointment button that you see on your screen on that page, Bonus Package. Okay. Also, you'll have the ability when you sign up for that package to choose extra bonuses, fulfillment bonuses. We will give you, as a member of our MYM Insider program, what we call monopoly money that you can use to spend on any of the things on this list. We'll create your identity for you. We'll create pre-positioning packages for you. We'll create a whole new website for you, or just overhaul the content so that it's identity-based. We'll do SEO setup or maintenance. We'll put together moving packages, robust proximity marketing packages, our home show package like we talked about earlier in today's webinar, pay-per-click advertising. All of these things can be done using the monopoly money that you get as a member of our MYM Insider program. Okay, so here's what we'll do. We'll give you $5,000 of monopoly money to use when you join our MYM Insider program. And if you call and set an appointment, if you call and schedule an appointment with us today, we'll give you an additional $2,000 for a total of $7,000 of monopoly money. This will get you the foundational elements of everything you need for your business. On your screen right now, just as an example, is an example of our proximity marketing program. 3 postcards, a check mailer, a testimonial mailer, a take one flyer, a big bill like we talked about earlier, the job site sign, all of it's included as one example. That costs $1,000 of monopoly money, not actual money, but monopoly money, okay? We've got 2 different packages. One's a 1-year package. It's $8,985. The other one is a 2-year package. It's $13,570. And you can look on the page, bonus package, mymonline.com/bonus package, and you can get a feel for what's included. You get more monopoly money with the 2-year program. We give you a free iPad mini with the 2-year package. About 80% of our customers go on our 2-year package, okay? And during the consultation, when we're talking to you about your business, talking about your identity, we can help you understand what these packages are in more detail. So if you'd like to set an appointment with us, go online to mymonline.com/consultation. And with that, I'm going to take the last poll, and I'm going to make you a little bit of an offer here. So you tell me what you're interested in doing. Here's the offer. Which of the following bonuses would you like to have for setting an appointment with us today? Now, this is only for people that schedule their appointment today. Your appointment doesn't have to be held today. In fact, it probably won't be. But you have to schedule it today. If you do that, you can get an extra $500 in bonus credit, or you can get our Remodeling Contractor Marketing Bootcamp CD set. That's $400 normally, or our flagship MYM 10 CD program, or we'll give you something called our Guerilla Marketing Quick Start Pack, which is going to include the big bill flyer if you set this appointment today. So I'll give you just a second to go ahead and fill that out. Go ahead and fill it out. And to make that happen, to actually get what we just talked about, you will have to set your appointment for today. You'll have to set your appointment today. You don't have to have the appointment today, but you need to set it today. And if you go to mymonline.com/consultation, you will be able to choose the time. So you'll need to do that actually right now would be best to get the best time. We've got hundreds of people on this webinar today, so those times do fill up fast. Okay? All righty, I'm going to go ahead and close the poll. And we're going to give away the last book. All right? So, Judy, if you will give me the book winners. You know what? I think I forgot to announce the other ones. Okay. I did not announce. The first 2 book winners were Addie Silverton from S&S Design and Build in Grafton, Wisconsin. The second book winner is Cheryl Gerber from Tidewater Remodeling. By the way, if you have any questions, go ahead and start typing those in. I will take questions right now if you'll type those into the console. The second book winner is, let's see, Randy Hudson. And the CD set winner is Neil Kelly. I think I got that right. Oh, excuse me. No, I got that wrong. Randy Hudson from neilkelly.com, Portland, Oregon, is the third book winner, and the CD winner is Teresa Christie from Joco Sighting. Joco Sighting, I love that name. Okay, so that's who the winners are. If you would like to type in a question, I will stay on this webinar for another few minutes and allow you to go ahead and ask any questions you have about guerrilla marketing. Let me go to the questions console. Okay. All righty. We had some conversation about about the slides not advancing. Okay, let's see. Question, could you please clarify what it is you sell and how much it costs? Yes, I could. We sell a marketing training program that has ongoing webinars and live training elements, but in conjunction with that, we also give away for free when people buy that package our fulfillment services, including things like identity, website production, website overhaul of content, new mover packages, SEO packages, and so forth. So when you set that appointment, our Vice President of Sales, Brian Bauman, will go over that with you. He'll give you strategies for your company. He'll go through a questioning process to find out about your business, see what makes you tick. He'll work with you on trying to identify what your identity is and so forth, okay? Next question. Is it a bad idea to use the same dollar amount for door hangers and big bill for plastic gift cards? Should it be a different amount? Well, that's going to depend. A lot of times we'll want to use a bigger amount on the door hanger and then a smaller amount for an appointment setter. So for instance, you might do a $1,000 giveaway on the big bill. That's your standard giveaway. And then you'll offer maybe an additional $250 for the gift card. Now, the good thing about gift cards is you can stack them up, right? You can give them two for $500 or three for $750, depending on how you want to do that. So that's how I would typically do that. Next question. I'm a startup and currently work for a big box, and I have to be careful with the marketing I do because I cannot be fired for starting my own business. Really? Get fired for starting your own business? How do I market my business without being seen by my big box employer? Well, just don't put your name and picture on it probably would be the best way to do it. I mean, I'm not sure how they're going to know who you are if you don't identify yourself by name. I mean, there's a million companies out there, so I'm not sure that they would really see that. Okay. Next question. Are the packages suitable for somebody who wants to learn more about the MYM way of doing marketing? Absolutely. All you need to do is set that appointment, and they will go over that with you. Will this webinar be replayed again? Yes, it will be put on our website within 24 hours. We will send you an email to the link. What tips or tricks for getting referrals plus reward just the leads versus reward leads that actually buy? I'm not going to get into a lot of details on that. That's sort of a personal preference. Tips or tricks for getting referrals. The reality is referrals are typically going to come after the sale when people are interfacing with their friends and colleagues and neighbors through the normal course of regular conversations. So incentives for saying, hey, I will give you something if you give me a sale, give me a referral at the time of sale, they usually don't work because people honestly don't know anybody that needs what you are selling. Doesn't mean that you can't ask, and it doesn't mean that you won't get some referrals, but generally speaking, the majority of the referrals that you're going to get are going to come down the road when people are just having conversations with their friends and the topic comes up. So the key there is to stay in front of their face with ongoing mailings just to keep reminding them that they've done business with you and that it was a pleasant experience, etc. Next question. Do you print check mailers for people, or do you have a resource to suggest? Yes, we design, write, create. Let me tell you this. I'm going to strongly recommend that you don't, quote, just do a check mailer. The check mailer also needs to have some strategy behind it. Very preferably, you're going to have your identity infused into that check mailer, and those are all things that we can help you out with. Just do me a favor, set an appointment to speak to Brian Bauman, our Vice President of Sales. He'll help you out with that. He'll give you some resources and tell you how that works, okay? Next, is it important to have designations such as CAPS if that is the market you're targeting? If there are designations that your target market will know and understand and respect, then yes. In many cases, in marketing, you're using designations that people have no idea what they are, and it doesn't really matter. Okay, let me see if there's any other questions. Okay. All right, I think that's it. We'll go ahead and let you go, and we look forward to talking to you in the future. Thanks so much for participating. Thank you once again to all of our sponsors, First General Services, Bath Wraps by Liners Direct, Window Depot USA, Market Sharp, Qualified Remodeler, and Gutter Covers International. I appreciate you guys being here. Without you, there is no webinar, so we do appreciate your support. We'll talk to you next time. Thanks so much. Bye now.
The organ